First day back after the CBT. CBT was a really good day, but we're back now for the proper DAS course, the direct access. So we've got a lot going on. Today we're eventually getting on the big bike away from the 125, which is really exciting. And we're also getting an in-depth talk and knowledge about what's going to happen on the Mod 1, what we're going to be doing on the Mod 2 as well, but all of that's going to be covered in the training. So it's a 4-day course. Today's the first day. Let's get started.
While Lewis is upstairs getting all ready and sorted for his Mod 1 and Mod 2 training, I'm joined here by Sophia, who's actually going to talk us through the basic rundown of the next 4 days.
So the next 4 days are going to consist of 125 riding this morning, just to make sure that Lewis is capable of riding a bike. Then we can establish what we need to work on for the coming days. This afternoon I'm going to put him on a 650 and I'm going to introduce him to the controls and the handling. We're going to work on some off-road slow control, and then we'll do some gear changing and front brake work this afternoon, ready for the road ride in the morning. So the remainder of the week will be spent on the 650. We will work on then splitting the day between Module 2 and Module 1 training, allowing him time on the road and then also allowing him time to practice his Module 1, preparing him then for the Module 1 on Monday.
Brilliant. And he's going to be able to get onto the training pads on the weekend, which is going to be nice and fun for Lewis, so he doesn't have to feel all nervous on the day. Now let's get back into the rest of the video.
You didn't get on the 125, so
I'm going to be on the 125 in the morning, and that's fine. I mean, I'm used to just in the CBT, but I just want to, get that out of the way first, get back on the road, get comfortable again.
yeah, boy, I'm going to be trailing behind. I'm just going to judge you from afar and be like, "Are you idiots?" Why is your foot facing outwards?
I'm kind of good.
Why are you indicating with your knee?
To start the morning off, Lewis is getting to grips with the bike again by jumping on the 125. Now, in his case, he'll be out on the road for the next hour and a bit, going through all kinds of road conditions and settings. These being through residential areas, dual carriageways and even towns. He's essentially warming up for the rest of the day. And as Sophia said, she'll be keeping a lookout on how Lewis performs in order to gauge where to start.
What we'll do is we'll have a lunch break, and I'm going to introduce you to the 650, feeling the way the bike feels different from the 125. Clutch is going to be different, the brake's going to be different. They're better, but they're different. The bike is heavier.
So finally, we get on the Suzuki SV650. After done our first day of training on the 125, the YBR 125, we finally get on the SV650. So today, I'm just going to get on the pad, do some circles, get used to the bike, get used to the clutch control. I assume it's going to be a hell of a lot different to the 125. It's going to be a big change, so we'll see how we get on.
Suzuki SV650. It's fuel injected and it's a V-twin engine. You've got a footrest for yourself, and then you've also got your gear lever. Your gear lever now operates a 6-speed gearbox. So you've got your standard 3 points to your clutch, slipping point, biting point, and all the way out. The main thing you'll notice, the bike is longer, it's wider, it's heavier, right? Yeah. So we're just going to start with some basic pulling away and stopping, get you comfortable with the clutch and the rear brake. And then we'll do some left rotations and some right rotations. We're joined by these two in the car park. So we will work amongst ourselves to get it done. Yeah, sure. All right? So whenever you're ready, pop your gloves on, make sure your helmet's done up, have a seat and start her up, Lewis.
CVT on the 125, we were learning to keep the clutch on the biting point and do the same thing with the back brake.
Exactly.
I feel it so much more on there.
And eliminating the throttle means you haven't got three things to balance. No throttle, just clutch. So once you've got the clutch at the biting point, it's pulling. Yeah. So then all you've got to think about is it too fast, is it too slow? And if the only thing I have to adjust, which is the only thing you should be adjusting, is the brake, takes the pressure off of of balancing all of the controls.
Now, while Lewis is feeling out the bike, let's talk about the manoeuvres he has to do on his Mod 1. Starting off with the manual handling of the bike, where you have to move your bike from one bay to the other, which is easy enough, right?
Makes it look like a bicycle.
After which, you'll have to do the slalom into the figure of 8, and depending on how the examiner judges your ability entering the slalom, will determine how many figure of 8s you'll have to complete. Fingers crossed you don't have to do it too many times that you end up getting dizzy, followed by you having to go at a blistering speed of 3 miles an hour for the slow ride, where you'll have to control the balance and speed of the bike. And the next up is your U-turn. This then ends the slow ride portion of the test, and later on in the video you'll get to see the fast speed mod 1 stuff at the actual test centre, so stick around.
So, came past earlier, saw my excitement. It's a big change. The one thing I've noticed, and the one thing I'm really happy about, on the 125, the clutch control, you could feel the biting point when you're pulling away on the clutch, but you have to give it a lot of gas to get away. This, it's effortless. When you pull out the clutch, you can feel the biting point straight away, and you know, or you don't even have to give it a little bit of gas. And you know, on some of the Mod 1 training, we're learning about the clutch specifically, so no gas involved, but just getting away there, you know, you can feel the biting point, it's effortless, you know. Big change from the 125, so really happy.
Huh? That's not right. This is how the weather was actually like. While Lewis is clearly enjoying playing in the rain, let's look at the little animation he made to explain how the Mod 2 test works. Starting off with pulling over at the side of the road. You'll actually do this quite a few times throughout the duration of your 45-minute test. The next maneuver is the angle start behind a parked car. It's pretty much exactly the same as the one previous, just now you have a car in front of you. These are just elements of your test to make sure you're a safe rider, so don't sweat it too much. The next sort of big part of your Mod 2 test is your independent ride, where the examiner will tell you to follow the signs to a certain direction, and you'll do that until he feels satisfied, or of course until you run out of signs to follow, and this normally only takes up around 15 minutes. Of course there's more to it, but that's the basic gist of what's going to happen on your Mod 2. Now we bring you back to a damp Lewis who's on his way to the test facility.
So we've just pulled up at the test centre in Farnborough after our first ride this morning on the SV650. Yesterday we were on the pad. Just got on the road this morning in miserable weather. But we're just going to have a chat with Sophia, who was taking me around, just to see what's good, what's bad, what I need to improve on. Well, what's my main flaws out on the road already?
The riding, actually, to be fair, is really good.
Yeah.
The main thing for me at the moment are your shoulder checks. They're late.
Yeah.
What you've got to think about is the purpose of the shoulder check. So what exactly is it that you're making the shoulder check in the roundabout for?
To check someone's undercutting you.
Perfect.
Or overcutting.
Yeah, overtaking or undertaking you, right?
Yeah.
So the purpose of the shoulder check is to make sure that in the event that if somebody was undertaking you or overtaking you, that you would have enough time to take action to avoid any danger.
So now we know what I need to improve on, what I'm getting more confident with. Let's talk about, or let's just do a quick overview of what the ride was actually like.
Yeah, really nice actually. We did some town riding, lots of changes in speed limits, pickups, reductions, 20s, 30s. Done some national speed limit roads. We did some dual carriageways in this horrendous weather. And then we've done some independent riding this morning. The independent ride is about you being able to plan the road ahead of you, reading the road signs and following the road signs to a location. So this morning, Lewis did following signs to Tongham, continued to follow the signs without any instruction from me until the signs for Tongham no longer applied, and then I gave him further instruction from there.
So we've got another student from Excelerate who's just come back from their Mod 2. Sophia's gone over there to actually debrief with the examiner, who's trying to listen and see if he's passed his test.
You can hear it in the mic, can't you?
Yeah, she must have got closer.
Nice, Lou, chin up. That's it. Doesn't necessarily mean speed, but you need drive and power to keep the bike moving. Good job. Back around to pick up the other bay for me.
You know what? If you've wanted to get on a bike, you've already got that initial thought. So just get on it, and then when you get with it, everything is just given to you slowly, and that makes you feel so much more confident. Do you know what? The one thing when I get on the bike is gripping the handlebars too tightly, or my arms being too stiff. So if my arms are too stiff, then like I'm being shown, I'm being taught, when I'm doing my slow manoeuvres, I have to relax and I have to move the bike a little bit more. And, you know, that's the one tip that I've sort of nailed in. So just trying to relax everything. But yeah, no, I mean, if you've got initial thought, if you want to get on a bike, just do it. Hi guys, Lewis here, the trainee. I just wanted to jump in at this point and give you an idea of how my experience with Excelerate is going. During my training, I was instructed by Sophia, who has a specific style of training like many of the other instructors at Excelerate.
Hey, that's the puppy. Don't be lazy.
I found if I was struggling with a manoeuvre or a control, she would subtly give me a stern talking to, which can be blunt, but it's plain and clear and exactly what you need when learning to ride a motorcycle. And if I nailed a manoeuvre, she'd let me know with some appreciation, which boosted my confidence massively. Excelerate are all about getting you comfortable and confident on the bike. Now let's roll on day 3 and 4.
That's it. Now head up. Look for the hanger. Ooh, girl, you went in there with some speed. Go.
As you can see, we're obviously at the training pad today, the proper training pad for your Mach 1 test. Good thing about Excelerate and training with Excelerate, they get the opportunity to book it out on the weekends. So we've actually come down here on a Saturday. We spent quite a lot of time here. So we've got about an hour, 2 hours where we can just constantly practice the Mach 1 test. So all of our slow manoeuvres coming out and then our fast manoeuvres afterwards. So I've actually been on the pad for about an hour already, and it's going really well so far. And actually, we're gonna tomorrow, maybe a little bit late today, is do some proper mock tests.
Let's skip the slow manoeuvres and get your notepads out as we get into the fun part. There's 3 parts to the fast speed portion, which can either be left hand or right hand oriented. You've got the controlled stop, the emergency stop, and hazard avoidance, in that order. For the course, it will be like this. You've got a long sweeping bend at the end of the pad to help generate speed, to then a ride towards a set of cones where your speed will be tracked, as well as a setup for your hazard avoidance. The first element, the controlled stop, is where you safely stop within the box, and it isn't tracked by a speed trap, but the next 2 will be. The emergency stop is where you do the same course, but wait for the signal of the examiner before attempting to brake quickly and safely, so hopefully no endos. The hazard avoidance is where you again go at a minimum speed of 52 kilometers per hour through the speed trap, but this time you add a little swerve. Why is it in kilometers per hour? Well, who knows? Must be a European thing. And that's it, that's your Mod 1 done.
Follow me. While I was out there, doing my last one as well, so I had about 6 full attempts going at the whole thing. I don't know if you can see on the far corner, on one of the fast manoeuvres, 1 blue cone on the floor. Honestly, sod's law that it would be my last time going. But I just come around the corner. I knew I was close to the first blue cone coming out of the bend. I thought I'd miss it, but as I've tried to come out the bend a little bit more tighter, I've just tapped it with my little toe, felt it straight away. So just got to be careful. But it's so easy to do, one of those things.
So, Lewis, the test is upon us. How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Yeah?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. We've done as you've seen, we've just done a lot of training, 4 days worth of it. We went over a lot of Mod 1 stuff, which is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm quite confident. Mod 1 I've sort of nailed down. I was really thankful for the opportunity we got on the pad in Farnborough, the actual place where I'm going to be doing my test tomorrow. So I know what it looks like when I go into it. Otherwise, I'd be sort of going in blind, and I'd probably be more nervous. So no, I'm okay. So yeah, Mod 1 is tomorrow, and then we've got Mod 2 in a couple of days.
So, let's see whether or not you get your full bike licence. Right, okay, I think we're gonna try and sneak up on Lewis and just view from afar to see how he does in his Mod 1.
See and find out how it goes. Oh, come on, Lewis, you got this.
After all that,
Yeah?
I failed.
Oh!
I'm joking, I passed. Mod 1 done. Now just on to Mod 2, and then I'll finally go and ride my bike.
Come on!
So, how does it feel? Passing with no minus?
It's like a feeling like no other. Honestly, I was saying to you in there,
Yeah.
the day that you pass your car test, you have such a good feeling. On a motorcycle, it's like even better.
It's a birthday present, now passing the Christmas present.
Fantastic.
I'm
Love
happy.
it.
So happy.
Yay! I'll see you on the road. You did it!